Well, I'll start first with the Hurwit side of the family, and I have found this out. I think there was a Rabbi Hurwit in Bridgeport or Fairfield,
Yes.
who many years ago I spoke to, and he indicated to me that almost everybody with a root name, Horowitz, Hurwitz, Gurwitz, etc., probably had traveled through central Czechoslovakia, Prague in the 1500s. That's one side of the story. The other side, my mother's side of the story, is very specific. In 1736, in Prague, a man named Kalman was born. Kalman is my middle name, and he was my great-great-great-great-grandfather. Part of the diaspora, he moved eastward with his son Yeshia, and Yeshia's picture is on the CD, on the insert,
Yes.
as well as the people who followed him. Well, they moved to a little town in Russia, near Styroba, near Minsk, that was called Milkowitz. Now, my mother's maiden name is Milkowitz. Obviously, the family got the name from the town and not vice versa. And there they were, and then the pogroms and the persecution of the pogroms.
Yes.
And in around, well, it was 1901 specifically. In 1901, after the family was hiding in the attic, and I remember the family stories of this, hiding in the attic as the Cossacks would ride through the town of Milkowitz, sabers raised, the family had a meeting, and the elders, Yeshia, his wife, and his son named Zelik, and his wife, told my grandfather and my mother, you must go. You must leave and seek safety in America. And in doing so, they knew they'd never see each other again, which, in fact, unfortunately, was the case.
And that's the part in the music, you must go.
Right. Well, the first movement is called Origins.
Yes.
Just the diaspora, the movement.
Yes.
The second movement starts very specifically, you can say 1901, and you will hear the Cossacks riding through this town on horseback, and the music suddenly stops. And then you'll hear with the cellos, bassoons, the lower instruments in the orchestra, you will hear these notes, bum, 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 which is the elders telling my grandfather and my mother, you must go. And the younger ones answer back, no, 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 you must go, no, no, no. And then the movement continues with the younger family members saying, we don't want to go because we had these wonderful dances and these wonderful good times here with the family.
Yes.
It means so much to us. And that's where I composed, and it's all mine, of my folk music, including a klezmer band. There's a
Yes.
klezmer band in the second movement. And the children relate this in waltzes and in klezmer music. But at the end, you hear the threats of the Cossacks coming through, and the you must go fades, and at the end, they leave.
So is the children holding on to the
Trying to hold
sound
on.
through the klezmer
Right,
music?
but they can't because of the
Elders.
persecution.
Wow, that's fascinating. And that all comes out through the music.
Well, I hope so.
Now, a little while ago you said you just hear it. And I understand what you mean because I write songs. It's just sort of like just there. You just sort of in a flash see the whole superstructure, the super picture. Can you articulate that idea of just hearing it?
Yes, at times I won't even be aware of it, but I'll slowly begin to know I have some feelings. There's some sensitivities that I'm aware of, and it gradually turns into music. That's the easier way for me to compose, because, for example, the third movement, the beginning of it, I didn't even compose that. I just sat down because I was feeling this and played it.
It was written already.
It was there. I converted the keyboard so that the left hand was a cello and the right hand is a violin, and I just started playing, put it into the computer, which plays it back to me and then prints it out, and it was there, like we're talking. There was no more work than that. That's one side. At the other side, I can fuss. I was telling you before, I was playing the third movement, and the higher instruments, flutes and strings, are going one way, and the lower instruments are going the other way. And as I kept playing it, I knew there was something missing in the middle.
Yes.
And for 2 weeks, I didn't know. I kept playing it over and over. And speaking about my wife, she's a loving wife. She's also extremely patient, because to sit outside of a room and hear the same 6 notes going, hour after hour. But there I was, and I knew it was there, and it couldn't come out. And finally, in the form of a viola, it came out. There were just 4 notes.
What were they? Just hum them to us.
Bum, 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 bum. That's all. That's all it was.
For some reason, you were fascinated with those notes.
And when it came out, the world moved. I laughed, I cried. I mean, the world spun.
It corresponded with you somewhere in the inside
somewhere
where that was correct. That was what it was.
That's right. That's right. So composing for me, I can't speak for others, is at times just it's there. I mean, I'm walking along and all of a sudden I'm aware of something happening. I run back and put it on the synthesizer into the computer. At the other extreme is just work and work and work until it comes out, or keep changing and changing and changing until it feels right.
So it's kind of a complex combination of seeing the whole picture and then trying to articulate the picture, and then somehow the picture changes a little bit, but to your liking.
That's right. It's with a painting. An artist will conceive the whole thing, might even sketch it in, but it's some of those fine little points. I'll tell you one anecdote that really brought this home to me. Last summer, I went to Sofia for 8 days, and Michael Lancaster, the conductor, joined me, and the Bulgarian National Radio Symphony Orchestra performed the piece, and we made the CD out of it, the CD that's now available. And those 8 days were filled with rehearsals, coming back and listening to what was done, changing, going back, changing, then finally the final rehearsals, and at the end mixing and finalizing the CD. So we averaged maybe 4 hours a night of sleep. I was like I was a medical intern again. And we didn't even see the city or the country. It was hotel, symphony, hotel, symphony.
Some vacation.
Well, it was no vacation, but it was better than a vacation. But at one of the rehearsals, the klezmer band comes in, and there are 37 microphones and 37 tracks. You know what that means? That means that you can change the volume. Like for about every other instrument or group of cluster, you can keep changing the volume on the final mix. This is the post-performance production of the CD. Well, at one point they're trying to adjust the microphone, and Michael Lancaster is conducting them, and they're starting this part over and over again. And it's where the ethnic clarinet player of the klezmer band is supposed to play some notes. And he's playing them exactly right. But I have a chance to hear it with the full orchestra, and I feel something. There's something wrong. So as Michael Lancaster is dealing with the main orchestra, I walk to the side to the clarinet player, who doesn't speak English,